Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the LeBauer show. Today is a special edition because it's my 50th birthday. So this isn't coming out on my birthday. My birthday was probably last week or a week ago. But today I woke up December 1st. I'm 50. So congratulations to me. But you know what? Here's the funny thing is I really, I don't like celebrating my birthday. There's a few reasons why. I don't like artificial celebrations like Valentine's Day. I don't want people, I'm fine with my birthday. I think the thing is 15 years ago when I went to PT school and everyone was like, Aaron, are you on the Facebook? I'm like, what do you mean the Facebook? I was an adult student. I was 30 something years old and I got on Facebook. So Facebook's fine. But then all of a sudden, Facebook publishes your birthday, and people you don't know and don't care about you, generally, Facebook's telling them to wish you happy birthday, and I feel like that's ingenuous. So I purposely don't publish my birthday on Facebook. There's also another reason why birthdays have always been weird for me. When I was racing bikes, I raced bikes from the time I was 17 to 34. Not every year during that period, but there was a good 7-year period where if you know me or you've heard any of this podcast, like I was racing pretty seriously. I raced 50 to 80 days a year. And so what that meant, so in bicycle racing, they have different categories. They have juniors, they have senior men or open senior men, and then you've got, what's it called? 35 and older masters racers. So 35 and older. And so your racing age for the year is the age, not how old you are, but it's the age you turn that year. And bike racing seasons somewhere between February and September, or January and September. In California, it starts in January. Some states it ends in October, especially if you're doing mountain biking or gravel. But my racing age, my birthday's in December. So all year long, I'm writing down on these handwritten forms, because nowadays you have electronic forms, handwritten forms that I'm 27, but I was actually 26. And there was a period of time where people would ask me, how old are you? I'm like, I don't know. Because for like 10 years, 50 times a year, I'm writing down that I'm a year older than I actually was. So that's another reason, like birthdays are fun and, they're great and everything. But I also have this weird like ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, neurodivergent brain where like those things don't matter. To me, at least. To other people, they matter a whole lot, and that gets me in trouble in ways. But it's my 50th birthday. Both of my kids called me this morning, and my oldest daughter was like, hey, Dad, how you doing? Did you wake up feeling any different? And I was like, no, I actually feel pretty the same. And she's like, did you wake up with arthritis? Which is funny because, and I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, age is just a number. And I was like, I should share that. Because it's funny because, like, she's joking me because she knows I'm a physical therapist. And we talk about that all the time, but people out there, your patients, clients, maybe you are like, oh, now that I'm older, now my body is going to hurt. Now, the reason I hurt and can't do things is because I'm older. And that's not really true. And, I feel better physically in my body in the last few years than I did in my 20s. It's because I've been working on my movement quality and my strength. I've been training with kettlebells and doing some CrossFit and some yoga here and there, but not only yoga and not only weightlifting and not only cycling. And there's some things about my health and body that haven't been great, and things that, I'm like, like I can tell like through my skin and wrinkles and hair, like I'm getting old, or I'm getting seasoned, like a good steak or leather jacket getting patina. I can see it. And there's a part of me that likes it a lot. And there's a part of me that like has to come to the terms with it's different. And you've probably experienced the same. But no, I did not wake up with arthritis. And age is just a number. Last year, I rode 80 miles in the desert. I was trying to get to 100. All right. This year, my goal, or I had this goal, I set this about 5 years ago. I think it was about 5 years ago. It might have actually been in 2020, which feels like a long way. So 5 or 6 years ago, I started swinging kettlebells. It was 2019 or 2020. I can't remember because, pandemic. But it was somewhere around there. I did a Wake Up Warrior program with Garrett J. White. All right. If you want to learn intense marketing, sales, persuasion strategies, just go listen to this guy. He's got programs for as married businessman type of thing. And like personal development, help you like improve your relationships and stuff. I mean, that didn't save my marriage, but it made me a better person. Like I've grown tremendously through some of the things that I've done, and that was one of them. It didn't fix the problem in my marriage because I wasn't the only problem in the marriage. But during that process, what he does, we did I think it's like a goal planning. He's a good coach. And so we create these, I'm going to say in quote, impossible goals. Like, what's the impossible goal for your relationships, for your faith, for your fitness, for your business, etc. But I actually now have better relationships, closer relationships with my kids. Partly they're older, and partly I get to spend a lot of time with them. But the thing that I set for my body was, the impossible goal was pass the Strong First Kettlebell certification. Okay, so just a couple things about that. One, the certification is if you're under 50, it's using a 24 kilogram kettlebell, which is a 53 pound kettlebell. It's heavy. You have to do like 5 cleans, which you bring it from the floor up into your chest. You have to do 5, you have to demonstrate good form with your squats. Even I think it's a double kettlebell squat and a double kettlebell deadlift maybe. And then you have to do 5 strict presses, which is a limiter for me in strength. And but that wasn't the big limiter. The big limiter for me was going to be the snatch. So the snatch is where the kettlebell goes from the floor. You're in a little bit of a squat hinge, kettlebell from the floor, and it goes all the way overhead into a locked out position, then back down. And it's not just doing 5 of them. The test is you have to do 105 minutes, which is a lot. And it's a lot of weight. 105 minutes. And at the time I was like, I can't even snatch 20 kilograms, which is the one below that, 44 pounds. And then there's the 32 pound, 16 kilogram. And at the time I could go in and I could do 16 kilograms 100 times in 5 minutes. I'd done it. But when I started with kettlebells 6 years ago, I started with the weight that was even lighter. I think it was 12 kilograms, 25 pounds. I started with that. Like, that was hard to manage. And part of this is, I'm tall, skinny. I don't have like a bro body. I don't know. Like, I'm not like a gym bro. Like, I had guys that I worked out on my cycling team, worked out with, who we would go into the gym in the winter to do workouts, and like, Aaron, I can't do that workout with you because I'll get too big and bulky. They had to do, because in cycling, you don't want to gain 15 pounds of muscle over the winter. I'm trying to gain some like strength over the winter, but the max I would gain would be like 5 pounds in 2.5 to 3 months, because I wasn't taking steroids, and then I'd lose it all in the endurance rides in January. I'm just trying to get more power in my legs, and my teammates would have to do different exercises because they wouldn't push the same like reps and weights that I would with my legs. But again, I was doing some squats, but mostly machines. And that's different when we're talking like a 6'3". I have this kettlebell that's got to go from the ground to about 7.5 feet in the air. And if you're 5'4", the weight doesn't have to travel as far, and you can get a lot more reps. It's like I can't do burpees as fast as some short like guys who are like maybe gymnastics like sized, right? That's another challenge for me. So I'm sitting here thinking, I can't snatch a 20. I'll never be able to do the 24 kilograms. Like, I'll never, like, that's impossible. And I was like, I will never be able to do that. Like, I was like, I don't see a path that I can do this. And so that was my impossible goal for my fitness, is to be Strong First Kettlebell certified. It has nothing to do with Strong First. I mean, there's Dragon Door as well, but Strong First is like, has a, I don't know. I like their things better. It could have been either, right? I actually have the Dragon Door kettlebells. I do have one Strong First kettlebell, but they only started making them. But it was just past that certification, whether it was through Dragon Door or not. It was really not about the certification and saying Aaron is Strong First certified, and as much as saying by the time Aaron's 50, he's going to be in really good shape, know how to move really well, and he's going to be able to do something that most people can't do and that he didn't even think he can do, right? I didn't think I would be able to do that. So that's been my goal. And I worked with a kettlebell coach Her name is Alicia Angelini. She's married now and has a different last name. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But I stopped training with her because she went into PT school. She didn't have time to train me. And then so I started working with Brett Jones about 3 years ago. Maybe it was 2.5 years ago. So I've been working with Brett for over 2 years. And Brett Jones is the program director for Strong First. He's the instructor at FMS, at Functional Movement with Gray Cook. But 100 snatches in 5 minutes is tough, even at like a lighter weight, because your heart rate just gets quickly higher and higher and higher. Like I did a little bit of a test this week and got my heart rate over 160, and that was really tough for me. So here's what happened is I missed the goal. I was like, okay, because why 50 years old? Well, one, it's a halfway through 100, but when I'm 50, as of today, to pass the certification, I only need to be able to snatch a 20 kilogram. Because as you get older, they think you're not as strong. But which is fair. Couldn't I have done this more easily when I was in my 30s? I don't know. I didn't try. But when you're 50, the test weight for my body weight, so for under 225 pounds, it's 24 kilograms. I think if you're a 225 pound or 250 pound dude, it's 28 kilograms. But over 50 years old, it drops to 20 kilograms. It's still a tough test. But I didn't make the 24 kilograms. I was decently on track to do it, but I had a couple things happen this year that took me off track. As you know, back in May, I was indoor wave surfing and hit my head and fell, and that put a damper on things. But then, but I got through the summer. I was a bit too busy to go to a course this summer, anyways. But then I hit my head again at the end of the summer, and that one messed with my exercise tolerance more than anything. I hit my head in I think I was in my late 20s racing bikes in Iowa. Woke up in Iowa and didn't know why I was in Iowa. I was in a bike crash and a bike race. That time I just couldn't remember things at the end of the summer. This one is more affected vision, balance, and exercise tolerance for me. And so I backed way off. And it was, the exercises were the killer exercises, keep it light and happy. And I've been doing that. But that meant I lost momentum, which is okay. And it's one of those things where it's I set a goal for myself and I was really close to it, but I didn't quite hit it. But guess what? This week, Tuesday, I decided, let me just see what I can do with the 20 kilograms. And I did 80 reps in 4 minutes and 5 seconds. So I was on pace to hit it. My heart rate got so high, over 160. So I wasn't monitoring at the time, but I was able to see it afterwards, and I can kind of feel it. And I was just you know what? I could finish this. I could do it, but I don't really need to push myself to my ultimate limit. I've done that before in my life. No one else is counting on me doing it. This is a me goal. And I knew I just haven't spiked my heart rate that high in months. And I just need to do that, 3 or 4 more times and I'll have it. I'm really confident I've got the 20 kilogram. I've been confident that I could do it. I tested this summer, and I didn't try to push it, and I was able to do it in 6 minutes at 75% effort. So I knew that was going to be something I'd be able to do. But here's the thing, is I missed the goal. So what do I have to do? Reset the goal. So sometimes in life, you crush your goals and you get lost and you're what do I do? I became a category 1 cyclist. I was okay, never thought I'd be here. I lost sight of my goals. I've got in business, or, I've got myself or clients, you get way past something. You're okay, what do I do now? I'm done. You're not done, and you just got to set new goals. So yesterday, my youngest daughter was Dad, did you hit your kettlebell goal? And I was no, not yet. And she was oh, well, you at least need to try. She was she was just do it. And don't worry about hitting, the 5-minute mark. This is my 12-year-old. She's just do it and see how long it takes you. And I was oh my gosh. So anyways, that's going to be the workout today. We'll see. I snatched 24 kilograms a couple times yesterday, and I was ooh, this is heavy weight, because I haven't snatched it in 3 or 4 months. But I'm going to do it later today and see where I get. So I missed the goal, but I did 20 kilograms, 80 reps in 4 minutes and 5 seconds, which is on pace. So cool. But what was my goal initially? Why? It was to wake up on my 50th birthday, be able to tie my shoes, not blame my age for the pain in my body. And I mean, I've got visible abs. I don't have like the big veins on my arms, but I got my forearm veins. I've always had those. I'm mobile. I'm strong. I'm fit. I can do I did 5 pull-ups yesterday, and most people can't do that. Most people in America don't do it. Most of the people listening are probably, health conscious physical therapists, whoever, right? And most physical therapists probably at 50 years old can't do 5 pull-ups and, 100 snatches and snatch 24 kilograms. Like most people can't do that. So my goal was to be in the best shape and fitness of my life. I'm not in the absolute best health of my life. This whole divorce thing has impacted my mental health quite a bit. Some days are a lot tougher than they used to be. But I got a good therapist, and it's, I'm saying, hey, it's 50. This is the first day of the rest of my life, which is really cool. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, no matter how old you are. And it's my birthday. So I just jotted down 5 things. Actually, it's 6, but 5 lessons that I've learned. These are really short. And I'm just thinking what's each decade of my life, right? So 5 things I've learned in the last 50 years. Number 1, have fun. When you're under 10, all I remember is just it's about fun. So make sure life is about fun. Number 2, in my teens, I learned that people are mean. I was bullied in middle school. Kids are, and I've learned this now with my teenagers, kids don't have filters. They can be mean to each other without knowing it. They can be mean to each other and know it. And their brains aren't fully developed, but people are mean. People are rude. I'm still learning this, but people, take things out on others when they're unable to process that emotion themselves. A lot of times they take things out and they say things and do things to other people when they're unable to acknowledge that, they have a problem. Or really it's about them and not the other person. So, I really learned that lesson in my teens. I think in my 20s, the lesson was explore the world and explore your opportunities. Don't stay in Greensboro for your whole life. So I lived in California. I lived in Belgium. I lived in Israel. I was a bike messenger. I raced bikes all over the United States. I tried drugs, pot and ecstasy, and went on boat parties. It was dope. And we did some mushrooms as well. Went to music festivals, all those things. Explore the world and your opportunities, because you don't know what you're going to find. But if you stay in a hole, you'll never find those things. Right? So my 30s, what I realized was there's more to life than what most people expect. So my 30s is when most people get out of school and they just get a job and they're like, oh, I'm just going to stay in this job forever, or I'm going to stay in this job until I can get a better job and I can get a job with a window. Windows, a window cubicle doesn't mean you've made it. There's more to life than most people expect. And I set this expectation for myself in my 20s, but really I learned this in my 30s. It was my 30s when this happened. Was I will be upset with myself if I do the same thing for more than 10 years. So I became a massage therapist, and then within 10 years I was back into PT school, and within 10 years I started business coaching. And now I've got the opportunities are all opening for me, and I'm in that mark again where there's other opportunities, and I'm waiting for them. I'm not going to force it though. But there's more to life than what most people expect, because they're closed off and they have preconceived notions. It's kind of like a person with back pain. They're like, well, my cousin's got a ruptured disc, so I'm gonna have a ruptured disc and I can never go to CrossFit again. People are like, oh, this is all that life has. There's so much more to life. In my 40s, it was about family as your foundation. Family, kids, people in your life. It was my parents. There was a time where I had good relationship with my parents, but they would annoy me and be like, oh, can't you leave me alone? But what I realized is that family is like key, even though I don't live near a lot of them. And I realized like through divorce that like that rocked my foundation. That rocked my foundation of the family that I had. But family is important, and it looks different for everybody, and it will change. So in my 50s, I don't have a lesson for my 50s, but this just came to me yesterday about life. Like it was like, so this is like the overall lesson is, everyone's got their own hard. Life is hard. Having a job is hard. Owning a business is hard. But lemonade is still sweet. I'm not going to say when you get lemons, make lemonade. No, lemonade's still sweet. Life is still sweet. There's so much good opportunity. It's just the hard things are the things that make you better and help you grow and help you become someone who helps other people. Because if you're in this just to help yourself, like, I don't know, I can't remember the Hebrew word for it, but the whole idea around tzedakah, which is not charity, but, giving, it's like leaving the world a better place. I should remember this, but, I don't. But the whole idea is like someone asked me the other day, like, what's your purpose in life? I was like, to leave a better path behind me than the one that I went down. Can I help my kids get through life in a better way? Not give them money, but teach them how to make money. Teach them how to build a career and a job that they love. Give them the things that I didn't have. Can I do that for people in my profession? That's what I'm trying to do, is leave the world a better place. Like walk by some trash. Occasionally I'll pick it up. Like that's the deal. And so I think that's for me, that's what this is about, is having fun, exploring, learning, leaving it a better place for the next person, helping the next person along so they can get through it faster or more, I want to say better. They can get through it in a way that they can, come behind me and take what I did and make it even better. Make it better for you, make it better for the next person. I think that's the birthday message. Hey, it's my birthday. You know what? If you want to do anything, make a donation. I don't need presents. I don't need birthday wishes. But if you want to do something, like make a donation. I don't care where. But I think the world needs more donations as well. So for my birthday party, we have a roller skating jam and just had, birthday donations we've got this charity here called the Interactive Resource Center. They provide resources, clothes, job training, computers, internet, things like that for people that are homeless or close to being homeless. So that's where we donate. That's where I donate money. Pick one of your choice and don't do it for me. Do it for the people in your community. And I'll see you on the next show. Peace out.